it seems the banks have been manipulating the rand.
Standard Chartered is one of the few banks to have admitted liability for its role in what the Competition Commission called a currency manipulation cartel.
I mean, it's all over the place. We've all heard about it. It may seem like your typical everyday news, but something big is actually going on here.
Pressure continues to mount for government to communicate a clear message about the damage and the action to be taken on banks that were involved in the currency manipulation saga.
And why should you care? I want you to imagine a scenario where the value of the rand is not determined by the natural flow of the market but manipulated by a select few for their gain. The repercussions are more than just numbers on a screen. They're felt in our pockets, on our streets, and in our homes. Let's break it down. The rand manipulation saga is not just about complex financial language. It's about you and me. The story isn't just for economists in fancy suits at Capitec. It's for the everyday person who wonders why the prices on the shelves keep changing, why their paycheck doesn't stretch as far, and why the economic landscape just seems so shaky. Let me show you how the rand has been manipulated. Let me show you what this really means for you and me. But most importantly, let me show you that South Africa still remains in the financial and economic capture of others. The ANC may have won political freedom, but has little to no financial control or power in this country.
Government institutions have been accused of either playing it down or passing the buck.
As a result of the manipulation of the rand, a lot of our brothers and sisters who were climbing the ladder into the middle class have lost their houses.
Most of us have heard of currency manipulation. I mean, it's been thrown around more than a viral meme lately.
What's on my mind is rand manipulation.
What do you make of it, bro? As this rand manipulation thing.
What is that actually? That's what I want to explain it. I don't know what the fuck that is.
We have a vague idea of what it is, but would not be able to give someone an explanation if they asked for one. The dictionary explanation of currency manipulation is the attempt to adjust a country's currency value in foreign exchange markets, typically to enhance exports in international trade or alleviate its debt interest obligations. Okay, great, but I mean, that doesn't explain currency manipulation in the context of South Africa. So let's break it down. There are generally three players in the currency market: the bank, the client of the bank, and the Reserve Bank, who is the regulator. Banks juggle two roles: trading for themselves or trading on behalf of clients. The manipulation game begins when banks, who generally possess knowledge on their clients' deals, rig the market for profit. Sharing client info is illegal, of course, but some banks still play dirty. Now, let's peek into a hypothetical case. Imagine a trader at the bank anticipating a big order for dollars against the rand. The trader buys rands for the bank's account, staging the purchases to pay less than the client's 4 p.m. price. The term fix becomes the magic word. At 3:40 p.m., a client calls to convert dollars into 600 million rands, for instance, asking for the market benchmark price at 4 p.m. The fix. The trader starts buying rands at 1.6000, making the price tick up. By 4 p.m., the fixing states the rand to dollar price is 1.6060. The client pays 963.6 million US dollars, but if you do the math, the bank only paid 962.1 million US dollars, pocketing 1.5 million US dollars in 15 minutes. Sneaky, right? This manipulation not only breaks the law by exchanging client info, but also harms the country and its citizens who should be benefiting from fair trading. Now, let's switch gears. In a different scenario, banks might front run a client trade, selling or buying before executing the client's order to make a riskless profit. Illegal yet possible in a liquid market. Another trick involves deciding on a fixing price, a rate set at 4 p.m. Banks can manipulate this by heavy selling an hour before. You know, banks are actually nuts. We as everyday people are fooled by this illusion of a liquid market. In banks, we trust, right? You won't believe what has been unfolding behind those counters. Let's rewind to 2015. Competition Commission of South Africa launches a full-blown investigation, pointing fingers at heavyweights like Barclays, BNP Paribas, Citigroup, JP Morgan, and the list goes on. Why? Allegations involved manipulation of prices tied to the rand. Fast forward to 2017 and Citibank waves a white flag, settling with the commission for their currency manipulation escapades. But the real jaw dropper comes in 2023 when Standard Chartered Bank, the UK-based banking giant, confesses to playing dirty with the US dollar-ZAR currency pair. They admit guilt, take out their checkbook and scribble a 42 million rands fine. Now, Standard Chartered Bank was just one out of the 28 banks caught red-handed. This settlement puts an end to an epic 8-year legal tussle, making us wonder, was justice asleep, right? Or was it just playing a game of hide and seek? I mean, come on. How do you let this play out for 8 years? Okay, a year is cool, but I mean, 8 years? But here's the interesting part. While Standard Chartered Bank is paying up, other banks are flexing their legal muscles. The banks have challenged the Competition Commission to provide evidence that they participated at all in the alleged cartel. Well, simply put, to prove a single overall conspiracy, the commission would have to show that each of them interacted with all the others in this illegal rand manipulation saga. It's getting really complicated at this point. Okay, I mean, blah, 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 court cases, rand manipulation, this, that. Why should you care, right? Imagine the estimated daily transactions during the dodgy currency trading period from 2007 to 2013. It's not pocket change. We're talking about big money here. This whole saga isn't isolated from our daily personal lives. We experience the consequences on a daily, from the groceries we buy to the stretch in our paychecks. 2016 saw President Jacob Zuma pointing fingers at banks, suggesting they were playing puppeteer with the rand, orchestrating a grand drama to tarnish his presidency and the economy. His claims were initially met with eye rolls, raised eyebrows about the true cause of economic chaos during his term. I mean, if you think about it, this is the same man who sold off to the Guptas. Of course, nobody was going to take him seriously. Then there's Julius Malema, the fiery leader of the economic freedom fighters. Malema is certainly no stranger to bold statements. He insists that those pulling the strings behind the rand's manipulation must face consequences. Now, it's easy to dismiss Malema as the guy who blames everything on white monopoly capital, but let's be real for a moment. Why is this being downplayed? I mean, Standard Chartered Bank has been fined a mere 42.7 million rands. It's merely a slap on the wrist. And as for Citibank, they pleaded guilty and, in a peculiar twist of phrase, paid an administrative penalty of 69.5 million rands for their price fixing and currency manipulation. Oh, the creativity in naming financial penalties. Administrative indeed. Meanwhile, Barclays Africa, not to be outdone in this contrition tango, sought forgiveness for its own illicit activities. Now, let's be clear. These institutions didn't come forth with tearful confessions repenting for their financial sins. Nah, they were caught with their hands in the cookie jar, and it wasn't the sweet taste of innocence. Barclays Africa's Maria Ramos, in a masterclass of sorry not sorry, expressed deep regret that such conduct unfolded within the walls of their institution. Those who were found to have contravened our rules and conduct will in due course be held accountable, she said. Accountability. The word sounds noble when it is said, right? But seems to lose its way in the intricate maze of banking ethics. Not all apologies are created equal though. Barclays Africa, cozying up to the Competition Commission, secured a VIP pass to leniency. Financial assets like Barclays Capital and ABSA were spared the full brunt of consequences, enjoying a lighter touch, thanks to their cooperation, I guess. You see, feeble apologies accompanied by pocket money fines are simply not enough, because the damage caused by currency manipulation is no mere pocket change. It holds the power to cause significant disruption to economies. Well, Competition Commission flirts with the idea of criminal charges, yet skepticism lingers. The reality is that banks, these very financial giants, are shielded by an unnatural and unequal order. The idea that they'd face harsh penalties is merely a joke, honestly. Others have labeled economic sabotage to be similar to treason. The ANC has also called for charges. But wait, before we applaud the ANC's bold stance, let's turn the mirror of scrutiny on them. The ANC, standing in VIP protected ivory towers, points fingers while surrounded by the remains of lost financial control. It's a narrative of contradiction, right? While the ANC shouts economic sabotage, the question is, why hasn't the ANC, with all its political might, taken a more robust stance on economic control mechanisms? Have a look at this tweet by Ntiki Mazwai, the poet. People get arrested for match fixing but not fixing an entire currency. Kanti, who owns South Africa? Who owns South Africa? As the ANC points fingers, a greater lesson here is about the shackles that still bind a nation's economic destiny. A lesson that leaves ordinary citizens in the crossfire of economic games played in VIP towers. I'm done. Yep. Remember to subscribe. Like the video. Comment, please. See you next time, as always.